It's my own fault. I've let it sit for more than 6 months without riding it. I don't trust the gas here anymore, even if it's got stabilizer in it. And the way this gas tank is baffled, I can't get a siphon hose in there to get that last half gallon or so out. So I gotta take the tank off. 10 millimeter to take the rear seat off. So 6 mil on each side to hold the driver's seat on. $12mm for the bolt that holds the bottom of the gas tank. Don't forget that washer. There's 2 lines on this. There's a clip right here that holds the fuel line on. And on this side, there's a vacuum line. This type of petcock doesn't open unless the engine is trying to turn and pulling a vacuum on here. And on this side is a drain line. That's the vent and the overflow drain. The instrument cluster. And I almost forgot to take off the instrument cluster. What is this? 5mm. I should be able to just let that hang to the side. Now the tank should just come off. I don't know how well you can see. I'm not happy with that color. That gas has gotten old. Okay, I've put a coffee filter in the funnel to try and catch some of the debris. Yeah, that's a good spot right there. That should be the bottom or close enough. There's a little puddle about that big around that's still in there. Let's see. While I'm here, I thought I'd show you. It's my battery tender. I had an extension cord and it runs up along the main frame, the tunnel underneath the gas tank. And all that extra just sticks down here. Runs along the side of the main tube, follows the cables through here, comes out right here. This makes it much easier to put the tender on the battery. And I can plug a cell phone charger in here as well for my cell phone mount for GPS. I also want to drain the fuel out of the carburetor, but there's no direct access to it, so we've got to take the airbox off. And this is 4mm. Crankcase rebreather. That's easy to come off. Okay, there's a bolt there, bolt there, and a clamp with a Phillips head up here. It keeps the airbox on. 8mm. Okay, the idle adjust just slides out the side. Okay, there's a screw here that clamps that on, and the whole thing slides off. And if you can see it right there, it's the drain screw, and that should let whatever fuel is left in the bowl come out. It's going to come out this port, and there's no hose for that, so that will work well enough. All right, that should. No fuel in there. All right, carburetor's dry. I hope that's all it is. Okay, I'll put the airbox back on. The standoff for the other one. Okay. Now they seem to be where they're supposed to be. Those are cinched down. That's seated, so I can tighten up the screw that clamps the air intake boot to the carburetor. going to put a new clean air filter on here. The other one was nasty. Okay, I'm just going to put them in until they just barely make contact. Make sure they're all aligned before cinching them up. Yeah, the breather, that just pushes on. And now the fun of putting all this back together. So these horseshoe shapes go over the bushings first. The vent line reconnects right here. Vacuum line goes on the back side of the petcock. And here's the fuel line that goes on this side. And then the clip goes back out and puts a little tension where the fuel line hits the petcock. Funny shaped washer. And then and of course I knocked the vent line off. Okay. And getting the instrument cluster back on is always fun. Oh, maybe not. Here we go. Okay, so the driver's seat is a tongue that slides under here. 6mm bolt, or cap head screws that take 6mm Allen on each side. Passenger seat, there's a tongue that goes right into a slot there. Manual thread this to, as far as I can get it in, to make sure I'm not cross threading it. Then let's put the rest of the stuff on. This is fresh gasoline I got 2 weeks ago, and it's already got a stabilizer and a carb cleaning additive in it. I'm just going to put a ½ gallon in here. Enough to run around the block a few times. Make sure it's going good, and then make sure she's running well, and then up to the gas station to fill her up. I need some WD-40. So I'm going to give it a full choke. And it's going to take a shot or two for the carb bowl to fill up. Well, it was my own fault. I let it sit too long. I was not happy with the color of the gas in the tank, so I siphoned it all out, drained the carburetor, which on this bike is not a simple job. But it's done. I took her for a ride. She seems to be going okay. So I'm Steve from Workbench-Z. Go have fun with your tools. Holding it.